Welcome to Custom Home Builder Solutions, also known as CHS, a job costing, full accounting, and profit management software for the professional home builder. In this video, I'm going to talk a bit about something that I think that every bookkeeper accountant should check at the end of each month. We've done some videos about how you do a job closing journal entry that if you're on the completed contract method, you are posting things to some work in progress accounts, and then you do a job closing journal entry. If you go here to job closing entries, you end up selecting a date to close it, and you select a job, and then you use some tools to move move the balances in those work in progress accounts over to things like sales and cost of sales. Now, what I'd like to talk about is that you really should review your books at the end of each month to see if all of a sudden some job that you've closed shows back up in work in progress, because maybe somebody posted some entry after you did your job closing journal entry, or they did some, who knows, edits or something that they needed to do to that job later on, and it shows back up in your work in progress accounts. And the way to check for that is that you should go to Financials and use our great tool. Let's play like we're checking at the end of March 31st, 2016. And if you expand this, you're going to see that there's a trial balance with job sums. In other words, it will show summed by job the balances in each account as of whatever day you pick. So let's just do March 31st, because let's play like this is month end for March 31st. Plus, I know I purposely made some entries that are going to show up that I need to take care of in March. But let's take a look at this trial balance with job sums. And what we're looking for when we open this trial balance by GL as of 3/31 is mostly that in our work in progress type of accounts for job costs. A lot of times if you're using the NAHB, it's this direct construction cost 1430, and you're looking to see if you have any balances as of 3/31 lurking in these work in progress accounts for jobs you know that are closed. And if you look here, I happen to know that DeGroot, this DeGroot job, we did a job closing entry, I believe, in 2014. But if you drill down, you can see what's causing this balance, and you should know that that was a big job, and why is this little balance? You can see all the entries, that were posted to 1430 throughout time here. And as you scroll down, you start seeing, you can see here that a job closing entry was done for this job 2/28/14. In other words, it basically zeroed out the 1430 account for DeGroot and moved that to cost of sales. But now you can see in the year 2016, we have some entry, and we did a good description when we did it. Dia's check never cleared. And I did that in a demo showing how if a check never cleared, how you void it, and then you go post a negative amount to remove it, to reverse your original entry. And when I did the demo, by the way, I paid attention to the warning when I was posting the reversing in accounts payable that the job was closed, and I actually did put it to cost of sales. But before I started this video, I went back and I changed these two entries to play like I had ignored the warning from CHS that the job was closed and that I should post it to cost of sales. And I'd gone ahead and put it into 1430. So this is how you spot something that might be there. Now there's a couple of solutions to this. One is that you can go ahead and do a second job closing journal entry. It's okay that you do that. You're just moving the amounts there out of 1430 into probably cost of sales. Or you could look at these vendors, go find both these vendors on your accounts payable vendor ledger transactions, and try to change the GL account there, which is what I did to actually I changed it from my cost of sales into 1430 to do this demo. But anyway, this is how you can review why something is suddenly showing up And you do want this to not be in work in progress. It's an old job, and you want to go ahead and put it into cost of sales or something in this year. So I'm going to go ahead and use the job closing journal entry and just create another one. This is also something you should look at for sure before you're closing your books at year end, is to make sure no jobs are lurking in your work in progress because of some entry somebody made for a job that's closed. You would also be concerned about things in contract deposits, which is also sort of a work in progress account liability, or change order deposits, things like that. But let's go ahead and just go do a second job closing journal entry for that job again. And we're going to go ahead and we'll just use March 31st, because we know those two entries, we reviewed them, and we know those two entries came along and happened in March. And so we're going to do DeGroot. And then we can review a full trial balance as of 3/31 if we need to, like I've shown in other videos. And you can see how you have entries in sales, cost of sales, warranty expenses, and then suddenly this little amount in a work in progress account called direct construction costs. So what we want to do is continue to the job closing window, and we just want to get that direct construction costs over to cost of sales. So we'll do create JE, and I'm going to select the cost of sales for single family homes, which is where we had put the other stuff, and I'll create a little journal entry. And it's asking if it's okay to do that, etc., like we've shown in other videos, and it's been posted. And now you can see that the balance in that is 0. And these are just accounts that are on your balance sheet. And after a job is closed, you probably shouldn't have any balances in your balance sheet accounts. Please watch other videos about that. And we don't want to update the job status to close on above date, because we already did that previously. So we'll close, and that'll be that. And if we go back to our trial balances with job sums as of 3/31, we're now going to see that we don't have DeGroot showing up here anymore. And that's good. We don't want it in work in progress anymore. And if we go to journal entries, by the way, this little window for journal entries might be changing a little to a list, what we call a list control. But anyway, you can see close DeGroot, and you can see close DeGroot down here. And that's okay. It's just journal entries. We just moved a balance again. So if we just wanted to see if, we could do a batch ID search, we can see that there were 2 different journal entries, and we can see a report of those journal entries. Here's our little journal entry that we just did, and here's the journal entry we did at the time it closed, where we were actually moving stuff to sales and to cost of sales, etc., when we needed to. So accounting-wise, that's one thing I think that you should check at the end of every month, is to make sure nobody's made any entry that's suddenly showing up in your work in progress accounts on your balance sheet for a job that has been closed before. So that's just something I suggest people review every month. And thank you for watching.